April Tyler O'Neill is back as he crushes yet another home run in Toronto on Tuesday night.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Gabby Hurlbut, former ESPN social media associate and current host of the Boston Balling podcast as well. And I am here to bring you the latest in all things Boston Red Sox Monday through Friday, straight to your favorite podcast feed. And the best part is it is free. So you can get all this free Red Sox content. And why not check it out now? Because the Red Sox are actually fun. So Locked On is your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB, all lowercase, for a first deposit match up to $100. Welcome to Locked On Red Sox. I did just mention that the Red Sox are fun, and they certainly are. That is their third straight series win against a Blue Jays team that has been struggling this year, but the Red Sox certainly have had a lot of momentum lately because of winning a series against the Phillies and then a series after that against the Yankees. They have now won 4 games in a row, so it feels good as a Red Sox fan. It really does. So on today's show, I'm going to be talking about a man who has absolutely been killing it in this series in Toronto as he returns to his home roots. And I'm also going to be talking about Alex Cora, who absolutely deserves flowers for his management on Tuesday night, and also a reliever who's been key to this Red Sox team that is officially back on the active roster. So that's all coming up on today's show. But the biggest thing for me right now is the Red Sox are winning games and they are having a lot of fun with it. There was a clip that I saw that was showing the Red Sox pregame on Monday before the Blue Jays series, and it was a few of the guys taking batting practice and hanging out by the dugout getting ready for the game, and they were just laughing and having fun, and that's what it should be all about. And the more fun this team has, the more they're going to win moving forward. And it's great to see certain guys really figuring it out, like David Hamilton. Alex Cora has an established role for him on this team now. Cedar Rafaela is absolutely tearing it up at the plate now, and Valdez is even contributing in ways that he can contribute too. So it's very exciting to see some of these younger players really stepping it up and doing what needs to be done to help this team win. And this team has really come a long way from early on in the season, and it's exciting to think about them continuing to blossom into a very talented team. And I'm so excited to see what they can do when they get healthy. Like I've said from the start, this Red Sox team just needs to get healthy, and then we can start to be excited about what's going on with them. And one thing we can absolutely be excited about is April Tyler O'Neill is back. The man who was just crushing baseballs and came out of the gates hot in a Boston Red Sox uniform in April and was just blasting home runs all the time. Yeah, we're getting that guy back again. And I worried about O'Neill due to his injuries and the fact that he hasn't been able to stay fully healthy this season. We already knew he had elite defense, but his bat was going to be something that I was questioning as to how well he could contribute at the plate. And he has been contributing for sure. And being back in his home roots of Canada seems to be an appropriate place for him to be going off. In game 1 of the series against the Blue Jays on Monday night, he hit 2 home runs in that game, a game in which the Red Sox won. Again, they are absolutely on fire right now. And then in Tuesday night's game against the Blue Jays, he hit another home run. And honestly, as soon as that ball hit the bat, I knew it was gone. It just sounded absolutely beautiful, that beautiful noise we love to hear. And he just had an absolutely beautiful swing on it, and it was long gone. And he seems to love hitting at Rogers Center. Same with Rafael Devers, who has great stats at Rogers Center too. O'Neill has absolutely warmed up to that place and is absolutely crushing it. He's up to a 264 batting average on the season, which is around where he's been lingering, but he dipped down a bit when he got back from the IL and was a little rusty and was having trouble making hard contact. But now he's back at the point where he is crushing baseballs again and looks completely comfortable out there. Now, one of the biggest things to note about Tyler O'Neill right now is don't expect a lot of singles and doubles from him or small ball. He is a power heavy hitter, and that's what the Red Sox expected when they brought him here, is a guy who could hit home runs and contribute from a power standpoint to this Red Sox team, because the Red Sox can hit their home runs. I mean, we saw that on Monday night in the game when Devers and O'Neill both hit a home run and they went back to back, and that was cool to see. And then O'Neill obviously hit another one later in the game. So the Red Sox are utilizing power in some games here, but they have a lot of players who are not power first hitters, but they can make contact and play small ball and get themselves around the bases. And that's something that the Red Sox have been known to do very well over the years, is their ability to play small ball. So having Tyler O'Neill in the mix, who is more of a home run heavy hitter, is not a bad thing at all for this team, because you definitely want a mix of both. Successful teams have a lot of different types of hitters who are versatile and can do a lot of different things, and that's what I see in this Red Sox lineup right now. And I keep emphasizing the idea of consistency because it's so true. Everything goes back to the Red Sox having to remain consistent and be able to hit as well as they have been as of late. Now, on Tuesday night against the Blue Jays, they faced a very good starting pitcher in Chris Bassett. He is tough, and I knew that he was going to hold the Red Sox and that it could be tough for the Red Sox to score runs against him. So that certainly is something in this game that did happen. He went 6 innings, giving up 7 hits, but just 2 earned runs. He recorded 6 strikeouts and issued 2 walks. But Bassett looked very good, and the Red Sox couldn't get a whole lot going against him. But the key for the Red Sox was to get him out of the game and get to the point where they were facing the Blue Jays pen, because when you're facing a strong starting pitcher like that, you want to get his pitch count high to give yourself a chance to win. And luckily on the other side, Tanner Houck was pitching, and he honestly didn't have his best stuff. Going into this matchup, I said, wow, this has the potential to be a very good pitching matchup between Houck and Bassett. Houck wasn't his best, went 5.2 innings, giving up 6 hits and 3 runs, but just 2 of them were earned. He did walk 2 and strike out 5. And the thing to me about Houck in this start was it really was primarily over 1 inning that this all happened. He had a rough second inning that was very drawn out, and he had trouble getting out of that inning, but he cleaned things up after that, and for the most part, he was cruising until he got into the 6th inning. And then in the 6th, he gave up some base runners, and Alex Cora was really trying to keep him in there to finish the inning, and he was unable to do that. So then Cora pulled him, and honestly, I don't really fault Cora in particular for keeping him in the game in that scenario, because he is the best starting pitcher the Red Sox have right now, and we've seen him get through 6 innings plenty of times this season. And if Cora is trying to conserve his bullpen, it makes sense to want to keep him in there and see if he can finish the inning. And then once he couldn't, he got pulled. And then sure enough, Zach Kelly came in, finished the inning, and pitched the next inning as well. He looked very good. He did earn the win in the game, going 1.1 innings, giving up 0 runs, and he recorded a strikeout. So Tanner Houck was absolutely not his best. Couple walks that hurt him and just crowded on the base paths for him, but it really was just over that one inning where things kind of were a mess for him. And then when he went into the 6th inning, that was when his pitch count was very high because he did throw over 100 pitches. So things started to get sloppy for him. So not his best start, but absolutely not as bad as it could have been. But the Red Sox were able to pull it out. Cedar Rafaela is still red hot, had another 3-hit game in this one, going 3 for 4. He did have 1 strikeout, but he is so confident out there, and I love to see that. And he's one of the biggest reasons right now why the Red Sox are scoring runs is because Rafaela is out there hitting the ball, making good decisions at the plate, and looking a lot more mature than he did early on. So definitely a highlight of the game, and something to note was Cedar Rafaela. But a big reason why the Red Sox also won this game is because of Alex Cora and his managing decisions. And coming up, I'm going to be explaining how he managed this game the best possible way that he could. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. For somebody like me who really is not familiar much at all with cars and car parts, eBay Motors absolutely is a lifesaver for me, so it could be for you too if you check it out today. If you're looking for a fun way to play daily fantasy sports, PrizePicks is the best home for you. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It is the most fun, exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. With PrizePicks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a PrizePicks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 players' stat projections, and you're locked in. If you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has got you covered every week. From lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays, which increases your chances of getting a win, to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. PrizePicks gives you the best case scenario and can really save you if you're in a tough situation. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 when you download the PrizePicks app and use code LOCKEDONMLB. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. It's PrizePicks. It really is that easy, and I promise you will not regret it. Don't forget to check out Locked On Sports Today, the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel that's available on YouTube or Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. We as a network have you covered to stay caught up in all things going on in sports, so make sure you subscribe to that today. The Boston Red Sox are coming off of a really tight 4-3 win against the Toronto Blue Jays, and they are absolutely on fire right now. And one of the biggest reasons for their success right now is manager Alex Cora. He deserves recognition. He deserves props. And I am not afraid to say this because last season, I saw a lot of people bashing Alex Cora, saying the Red Sox should fire him, saying he's the reason the Red Sox were losing a lot of games last year. But if you think about this season and how injured the Red Sox have been this year, and the fact that they are staying afloat and they are developing some of the younger guys on the team, and they are still very much in that wild card race, Alex Cora is a big reason for the Red Sox doing all of that. And he has pushed a lot of the right buttons this year, including in Tuesday night's game. And Cora's decisions haven't always been perfect. No manager's decisions will ever always be perfect. But the challenging thing about being a manager in Major League Baseball is having to make those types of decisions that you don't know whether they'll work or not. It's a gamble. That's literally why it's baseball, and that's the beauty of it. But Cora is a good manager, and he's been making good management decisions overall this year. So one example in the Red Sox 4-3 win over the Toronto Blue Jays was when he brought in David Hamilton as a pinch runner. So in the top of the 8th inning with the Red Sox down 3-2, Tyler O'Neill crushed that home run, which went 408 feet, by the way. And then Yoshida and McGuire both grounded out, which, by the way, Yoshida did drive in a run, but I am just praying that he figures things out permanently at the plate. We're definitely going to need to see more from him as the season progresses. He just has not been getting things done when he needs to. A lot of ground outs, but he did drive in a run. So can't really be super mad at him. But then Dom Smith came to the plate and singled to center. Dom Smith recorded 2 hits on the night as well, by the way. So that was a very good night for him. So then after he singled, the Red Sox had tied the game, so they really wanted to get the go-ahead run in. So then Alex Cora brought in David Hamilton to pinch run, and he immediately stole second. There wasn't even a throw down to second base. He just already had it stolen. He got a great jump, and it was huge. And then, sure enough, right after that, Rafaela singled to score David Hamilton. Rafaela keeps coming up big in key moments, which is huge for this Red Sox team, but it scored David Hamilton. So that was decision number 1 by Alex Cora that I thought was a very good managing decision in this game, because he knows that David Hamilton is a huge base stealing threat no matter what when he's on base. And Alex Cora has been utilizing speed of this team to his advantage all season long. And this was just another example of him putting his team in the best position to succeed by getting one of his fastest players on the roster on first base so that he could make his way around the base paths. And it worked for this Boston Red Sox team. Another strong management decision that I touched on a little bit earlier was when he pulled Tanner Houck and brought in Zach Kelly. Zach Kelly has pitched in high leverage situations this season, and he was able to come into that game and get out of the inning when Houck was struggling. Because first of all, it started with Varsho landing on first base because Valdez made a fielding error. So that's how the bottom of the 6th inning had started. And then he stole second, and then Houck walked Justin Turner and then gave up a single that scored Turner, and essentially the Blue Jays took a 3-2 lead. So what he was trying to do was, because he had 2 outs already at the time, he essentially wanted to see if he could get out of the inning, because after he walked Justin Turner, he did get a fly out to left for an out, and then Alejandro Kirk, the Blue Jays catcher, grounded into a fielder's choice to third base. So Varsho was out at third. The Red Sox got the lead runner out there. So Alex Cora said, okay, he has 2 outs. He's so close to finishing the inning. Let's see if he can finish it. Then Kiner Falefa came up and hit that single. So unfortunately, Howe couldn't get out of the inning, so he immediately came out to the field, Cora did, pulled him and brought in Zach Kelly, who took care of business. And I've been very impressed by Kelly lately because of his ability in high leverage situations to get out of it. So it was very good that Alex Cora chose him to come into the game. I definitely trust him in those high pressure situations. So then another decision too, Zach Kelly was able to finish the 7th inning, pitched a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. He looked very good. But then in the bottom of the 8th inning, Brennan Bernardino came in to pitch and gave up an infield single that at first was ruled an error on Bobby Dahlbeck, who came in to play first base for Dominic Smith, which, by the way, that alone appeared to be a very good decision when it happened because Dom Smith is not nearly as good of a defender as Dahlbeck is, and Cora wanted to put this Red Sox team in a position to be able to hold that one-run lead as much as they could, so he didn't want to risk any defensive miscues with Dom Smith at first base. So he brought in Dahlbeck defensively. Dahlbeck bobbled the ball and couldn't make the play at first. And at first they did rule that an error on Dahlbeck, but then they changed it to a hit because it was a hard play to make. So again, Cora pulling a good punch by bringing in the guy in Dahlbeck, who is the vastly better defender than Dom Smith. So then once that Varsho hit happened, Justin Turner flied out to center, and then George Springer came in to pinch hit. He flied out to right. So then right after that, Alex Cora came back out to pull Brennan Bernardino, and it's because Alejandro Kirk was coming in, and he had been hitting cutters very well all night long, and Alex Cora probably felt like the matchup was not going to be good between him and Bernardino. And a lot of times it's matchup based, not that he doesn't trust Bernardino in general, just that in that specific matchup, he didn't like it. So Alex Cora pulled him, brought in Justin Slayton, and Justin Slayton got Kirk to pop out to second. So another genius decision by Alex Cora. And then he did do a little bit more shifting around. He brought in Romy Gonzalez to pinch hit for Enmanuel Valdez in the top of the 9th, and he flied out to right. But that's okay, just trying it out to see if he could get on base and try to get the Red Sox an insurance run. And then Kenley Jansen came in the bottom of the 9th and locked it down and got these guys out 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 9th. So Alex Cora pulled a lot of good punches in this game on both a pitching side and from a fielding standpoint and from a base running standpoint. So he really was just making all the right moves in the late innings to put the Red Sox in position to succeed. And if you notice, he's really catering to these guys' strengths, utilizing them in a role that's best suited for them based on what their specific strengths are. And I think that's fantastic. So I really like what Alex Cora did during that game and how he managed it. Fantastic managerial decisions made by him, especially in those late innings. And Alex Cora just deserves a ton of flowers for his overall season this year, because I don't think a lot of people would have expected the Red Sox to be a team that's in the conversation for a wild card because of what the roster looked like early on. But Alex Cora is a player's coach, and he does know how to cater to his players' strengths. I've been saying this for a very long time, and he did an absolutely genius job of managing that roster on Tuesday night to put the Red Sox in the best position possible to be able to succeed, and by utilizing all the pieces that they had. And one weakness from Alex Cora that we've seen before is his ability to manage the bullpen. That has been a struggle for him. He has made the wrong moves in the past when it comes to bringing in certain relievers, but I think he's done a great job this year, especially in May and June, of making the right decisions and putting guys into situations that they should be in. And it helps that a lot of his bullpen are players who he has seen pitch in high leverage situations, so that definitely puts him in a better place there. But he definitely has made a lot of good moves this year, and he deserves a lot of credit for managing a team that has just had a revolving door of injuries and doing it as well as he has. Speaking of the Red Sox bullpen, Chris Martin has returned, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about that next. I know how life insurance and finding the right policy can be a bit of a scary thing, but I promise you, if you use Policygenius, you won't have to worry about a thing. A lot of life is unpredictable, but a good life insurance plan gives your family a financial safety net to protect against some of the unknowns. Policygenius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. It makes choosing the right policy for your family easy and quick. With Policygenius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options are 100% online and let you avoid unnecessary medical exams. Policygenius helps you easily compare your options from America's top insurers in just a few clicks. Their award-winning agents can even walk you through the process step by step. Get peace of mind by finding the right life insurance with Policygenius. Head to policygenius.com or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com. I'm telling you, you can feel a lot better if you have the right life insurance policy. So head to Policygenius today. Here on Locked On Red Sox, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collections season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. I'm an independent contractor here with Locked On, and sometimes taxes can get confusing when you are an independent contractor, so Tax Network USA has helped me out a ton. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in this episode description below. I really am going to be honest with you. I hate doing taxes. So if I have a resource to use like I do in Tax Network USA, I'm absolutely going to utilize it. Don't forget as well to check out Locked On Sports Today, the first 24/7 sports streaming channel from all of our experts here at Locked On, who will keep you covered in all things going on in sports. All of the biggest stories will be gone over no matter what time zone you're in. So be sure to subscribe to that today. Check it out on either YouTube or Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Chris Martin is a reliever for the Boston Red Sox who, to say the least, has been a huge asset to this bullpen the last season or so. Last year, he was one of the best relievers in baseball and was primarily the eighth inning guy who pitched in games before Kenley Jansen did. He would be that guy who would come into games and throw that eighth inning and then leave it up to Kenley in the ninth, keep it a close game for the Red Sox. And early on this season, he wasn't having as good of a season as he had last year. So he has pitched in 21 games this season. He's a 38-year-old right-hander, and he posted a 4.22 ERA, giving up 10 earned runs to go with 24 strikeouts in his outings this year. He went on the injured list on June 5th, retroactive to June 2nd with anxiety. He just needed to step away for a bit. He pitched in one rehab game with the Worcester Red Sox on June 16th and tossed a scoreless inning with one walk. Chris Martin was originally selected by the Colorado Rockies in the 21st round of the 2005 first-year player draft, and he owns a 342 ERA in 345 career games. So overall, he's had a very good career. This year was a little bit of a struggle for him, but I'm hoping that now that he was able to step away and take some time away from the game, that he can get himself back on track and get back to producing for this Red Sox team in the way that we know he can. So he is back, and I'm glad to have him. And in a bit of a surprising move, when they activated him, they optioned Cooper Criswell down to AAA, who's 27 years old, last pitched a few days ago on June 15th against the Yankees, allowing 2 runs on 3 hits with 6 strikeouts over 4 innings. This right-hander posted a 4.15 ERA with 24 earned runs over 12 MLB games, 11 of them being starts this season. He's also pitched in 2 AAA games with Worcester, allowing just 1 run in 10.1 innings with 9 strikeouts. He owns a 4.92 ERA in 24 major league games, with 13 of those being starts. And he has been good for the Red Sox this year. He has definitely been solid, and it's been great to see, because when Garrett Whitlock got injured and Criswell had to be called up to take his spot in the rotation, we were not sure what things were going to look like, if he was going to be able to be an asset to this Red Sox rotation, if he was going to be somebody who struggled because he hadn't had a lot of experience in major league games. But he has certainly helped fill those shoes that have been needed in that 5th spot in the rotation. And the Red Sox have really been able to utilize him, and he's been very much of a pleasant surprise so far. So why did the Red Sox send him down to AAA? Who's going to be the 5th starter for this Red Sox team? I'm sure you're asking all of these questions, and it definitely was an intriguing move for sure. But part of the reason is because the next 2 times that he would be scheduled to start in the rotation are off days for the Red Sox. So because of that, basically the Red Sox are viewing it as an opportunity just to give him a little bit of a rest. And then by the time he's scheduled to start again, he likely will be called back up. This move had nothing to do with his performance or the Red Sox not believing in him or not feeling like he can do it, but they just saw it as an opportunity because he doesn't have to pitch for a bit due to the Red Sox off days. It makes sense for them to just keep him in a position where he is on the AAA roster for now, and then when he gets called back up will be when it's his next start in the rotation. And then the Red Sox, again, are going to have to figure something else out. This is a temporary move. They probably were unsure who it makes sense to move in a more permanent capacity right now, so they did this as a way to figure out, okay, who do we have to move when we do bring Criswell back up? And that's something they're going to have to make a decision on. There are definitely some likely candidates. I could see Dom Smith and his lack of ability to play defense being a guy the Red Sox consider parting ways with. You have David Hamilton and Manuel Valdez, people who could go down to AAA. Although I don't think the Red Sox would send David Hamilton back down because he just has provided a ton of value. I mean, you saw it even on Tuesday night, how he helped the Red Sox win that game in a huge way by just being on the base paths and utilizing his speed. So that alone, to me, I think would keep him up in the majors. Valdez is somebody I could definitely see being sent back down to AAA. And then we have to think about when Wilyer Abreu comes back, which is expected to be in the next couple days as well. So where does he fit into all of this? Who gets moved when he comes back? So I'm sure the Red Sox know they have a lot of reshuffling to do, and they probably just weren't 100% sure of what they actually wanted to do at the time. So they said, okay, because Criswell doesn't have to start for a bit, we can put him on the AAA roster for now, and then when it's time for that 5th starter to pitch again, it will be him and he'll come back up. So I wouldn't be too alarmed by this move. It definitely surprised me. I definitely expected to see the name Dominic Smith flash across my phone screen when the Red Sox made the announcement that they've reactivated Chris Martin. I am curious, though, to see how Martin pitches Is he going to be able to bounce back? Are we going to see more of the Chris Martin of old that we saw last year? Or are we going to see the Chris Martin who struggled a bit this year early on? Has he been able to refocus himself so that he can get back on track and pitch in the way the Red Sox need him to and contribute how we all would want him to contribute? That's something that I'm going to be looking out for as his outings progress moving forward. Is, did this time away help him or did it harm him because he was away for a bit too long and lost his rhythm and then he's going to struggle? So that's a big question. So I'd like to see the Red Sox put him into a game soon so we can see where he's at, see how this impacted him, if it was a positive or negative situation for him, because you really never know. It could be hit or miss, and it's just hard to predict what an experience like that could do for a player when they do come back. So I'm excited to see him pitch again. Criswell, I'm sure, will be back in a few short days, and then the Red Sox will figure out what corresponding roster move makes the most sense to do then. But let's just hope the Red Sox keep winning. They are a fun team right now. Obviously, we want to win every day, all the time, but there's a lot less pressure on tonight's game now that they've already won the series against the Blue Jays. So even if they don't win, it's okay. They've already won the series. Just got to keep winning series, and they will be a playoff team if they keep winning series moving forward. So I'm excited to see if they can do that. And as always, though, keep the faith. Go Red Sox, and I will catch you on the flip side.